I'll tell you a story about my dad, born to a generation of silent men.
Now, suicide is a topic that we don't always talk about.
I only knew one time what was really going on inside of him.
The biggest killer of men under 50 is suicide.
And the first time in my life, I knew him.
Men need to talk about their problems more, and then the moment you do it, you're like, all right, not quite so often and not quite so loud.
And he couldn't reach me.
92% of men who took their own lives were actively seeking help.
He wanted to,
but just give me some advice over the phone or anything.
Like what? I haven't got any special magical advice.
Bang.
Good morning, everyone. Well, people will see that intro again later. I just want to say that that is an old, what do you call it, promo from probably 3 years ago now, 2 years ago, when Maroon was on it, the Alex Theatre. So don't take the details at the end of it as anything. I just wanted to show a part of the power of this piece, Maroon, that I'm doing, which is around the topic of suicide. Now, because I'm making the film, I decided that I want to talk to people who are either survivors of suicide or people who've been affected, people who've lost loved ones, friends, families. It's always a couple of steps away from someone, it seems. So yesterday I got approached by a woman who said that her son was cycling around Australia. So I got in touch, and he got straight back, and he's currently in WA. I'm just going to bring on Lenny now. Hi, because Lenny's in WA, he's a little bit delayed on this. No. So yeah. So your mum told me, and so it's quite funny because in my head I thought, as a teenager, but because I've been talking, I think I was talking a lot about. Well, this is a problem that affects so many different age groups, but there's a huge amount within the youth of the young people at the moment, which we've got to find a way to stop. But so you're doing something quite remarkable, and all I want to do here is get you to tell your story, why you're doing it, and what you're actually doing. So go ahead, Lenny. And whereabouts are you actually?
How are we going, everyone? So yes, at the moment I'm currently in a place called Jurien Bay in Western Australia. It's roughly 3 hours from Perth, I think 2.5 hours, 3 hours from Perth, north on the coast. And I'm currently cycling what's called a recumbent trike. It's a three-wheeled bike which you lay down on pedal forwards, and I'm riding that around Australia, raising awareness for suicide and mental health. I'm currently about 9,000 Ks in, just over. I started that in November 2024, so I've been on the road just over a year, cruising around, having conversations with people. Yeah. So just over a year, and I'm doing this because I've lost some people in my life to suicide. The first one I knew was my uncle, who was like a father to me. He took me in. And took me under his wing, and I lived with him for a lot of years. And I guess I never really understood that. I had a lot of the anger side of it going through me then. I thought he was weak and all this sort of stuff. Didn't really understand it. And then skip forward a few years, maybe 5 years, I think, possibly 6. One of my best mates, Simon Wheaton, he took his own life as well. Which I was living in Kangaroo Island in South Australia then. So it's a small little community, and that really rocked the whole community, obviously myself included. And Simon and I, we used to shear sheep together. I'm an ex-shearer. So back then, 4.5 years ago, a friend of mine and myself, we got together and we did what's called a shearathon. So we shore sheep for a 24-hour period, and we raised $45,000 just about for mental health research then, for the Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation. They're based in Adelaide. working with Flinders University, trying to get a lot of early interventions in place, and you know, they get out in the community and the rural communities and put on a lot of workshops and stuff, giving people the tools to deal with their mental health issues.
Just on that note, what do you think? Sorry, what do you think came out of that? What do you see, or what do they even see as one thing that is an intervention that could?
Well, obviously, like you mentioned before, the youth. You know, they do a lot of things with youth mental health as well. And I personally believe that's, you know, we need to give the young people the tools they need to get through, especially this day and age. You know, everyone's struggling. It's not cheap to live. We got, you know, this fuel thing going on. There's wars. You know, it's a tough place to live these days.
Media thing is very suffocating, I think, and people get very stuck in what they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to look like, and there's a huge amount.
Yes.
You've got to be a part of it. You've got to be a part of it. If you're not, you're sort of outside, ostracized or outside.
Yes. I think our way of thinking needs to change a lot. When it comes to that, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, I think. And those, especially as adults, those pressures we put on ourselves, they get passed down to our kids and just their kids and things like that too. Yeah, I don't know. It's that's my personal opinion. Yeah.
What I'm doing is, this piece is all about talking. It's all about getting back to actually recognizing when someone is falling or struggling before they actually end up, you know, there. So I had a woman on yesterday who had attempted. She had attempted, and she, you know, it was very quietly kind of slipped through the cracks because no one was aware or nobody saw. And this is the thing: we don't have the time to even reach out or notice, or if we do, then we have to go get involved and we have to go and become a part of that person's problem or whatever. And I think these are all things which contribute, but talking is the essence of, you know, in this particular piece, I'll just say for Maroon for a second, it was around male suicide first of all. So it was specifically for male suicide, and how, you know, I don't think men don't talk at all, but perhaps maybe they don't get to a certain level where they feel they can really open up. And these lots of organizations are starting things for camps and, you know, men's groups and men's wellness things so that they actually can do that, which is fantastic.
Yes.
But it's also a little bit of a shame that we've created this society where you're supposed to just suck it up kind of thing.
Oh, 100%. I'm a firm believer of that. The old adage, you know, cowboys don't cry. We don't talk about that. You know, toughen up, have a cup of cement, all that. It's not working. It's definitely not working. And you know, that's one of the things I try and do on my Facebook group, Doing It for Dipper. I try and be as open and vulnerable about my experiences and my issues as I can, in the hopes that, you know, others will see that and realise, you know, he can do it. Why can't I talk about it? You know, I mean, you know, I'll get online and I'll cry about it, you know, and as hard as it is to take that mask off for me, I think it's something really important that we have to, especially as adult men, we have to show the younger generation it's okay to do that. Yeah. It's you're not weak. You're not any less of a man.
Weak is such a horrible word. It's such a horrible word because to me, you're almost, well, I'm saying the word weak then, by not doing that, because you're not actually showing your whole self. It's not weak. It's you're just going, I'm a cartoon character almost. But you're not. You've got feelings. You've got emotions. You've got anger. You've got rage. You're allowed to do all of it. We are as well. Women have got anger. They've got rage. But
definitely.
If you hold everything in, and especially if you hold your emotions in, what are you asking people to do? Just not recognize that part. So how do you struggle with it yourself?
when those emotions finally surface and you've got no control over that, that's when things get ugly. That's when things that's when things just get horrible. I mean, I've been there myself, you know. I've been that person that held it in, that didn't talk about anything, you know.
So would that have started back with your uncle? Would that have started back with your uncle when you said that you would that have started back with your uncle when you thought that he was, you know, weak or whatever for doing that?
No, I think that started a long time before that. Even when I was younger, you know, like you know, I come from a bit of a broken home, you know, and as a young kid, when your mum and dad split up, that's pretty traumatic sort of time in your life. And you know, I never used to talk about that. My dad used to try and get me to talk about it, but I never did, you know. So he knew back then, you know, you got to talk about this shit. You can't bottle it up. Don't bottle it up. But I never did. You know, I always bottled it up. I couldn't find a way to talk. I didn't know how to talk. You know, I guess I didn't have those communication skills as a young fella. Which, you know, it took me a long time to.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I wonder what that was. I wonder if it was school or, you know, your friends who were.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, no. But yeah, it took me a long time to sort of start talking about my issues, my problems. Yeah. I think. Sorry.
No, you carry on.
I was going to say, like, after my friend Simon, he passed away. That's my mate Dipper, who the page started over.
Everyone go follow it.
That made me really sort of look at it a different way. And I started, you know, asking questions about mental health. And I actually went and did a mental health first aid course, a 2-day course over the weekend. That was run by Breakthrough Foundation. And to tell you the truth, I learned more about myself than I did about anything else. I realised that for most of my life, I thought I was a shy person. And any of my friends that I actually, you know, I had the nerve to tell them I'm actually a shy person, they would laugh at me. They're like, "You're not shy, mate. You're not shy." And I realised that after this course, I've been struggling with anxiety, social anxiety and all that for all my life. I didn't realise what anxiety was.
Wow.
And it took me, you know, 43 years of age to realise that I struggled with anxiety. So that was a big eye opener for me. You know, I always knew I had parts of depression and stuff, but I never went and sought help about it at all, ever.
You did, right.
Not until after I lost my mate Simon. His wife, actually, she took me in to get some counselling and stuff. His wife Eloise, and yeah, you know, with everything that she was going through, she helped me through so much too in those early stages after losing Simon. So,
so was he, you know, like obviously a very close friend? He was.
He was. Yeah, we were very close.
Yeah. Did you see anything in the lead up to him? And I'm saying that because that's
not really. No, I knew he had his struggles, but I didn't know the depths of it. You know, like some of his other close friends had known him since school years and stuff. They knew how bad he could get, but you know, it wasn't something that was widely spoken about. But
so he
I knew
depression, or did he actually?
He actually tried taking his own life as a young fella at the age of 12, which was sad. So I didn't find that out until after he'd passed, you know. But so yeah, he'd struggled for a long time, and you know, he didn't understand why. He was, you know, because it doesn't discriminate, does it? You know, like he was doing well for himself. He had a beautiful family, a couple of beautiful, you know, two lovely sons. He owned his own farm, you know, like been passed down through the generations. Beautiful place on Kangaroo Island, but you know, he didn't know why he felt like that.
It doesn't discriminate. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, like yesterday, Kieran has bipolar, which is different because it gives the real highs. And she was saying she's constantly having to monitor herself. Where am I? Am I getting high? Am I going down? Which? But depression is very different in the way that I'm not being ignorant here, but it seems incredible to me the amount of people that struggle with depression and anxiety, which seems to go hand in hand a bit. You know, especially in a place like Australia that just forget whatever's going on in the world or has been in the last 5 or 6 years, because people did struggle with depression and anxiety well before that. In a country like this, which is abundant with sun, which we know is supposed to be good for your what is it? Was it dopamines or your positive?
I can never remember which of those came.
And we're not starving here. We have blah blah blah. I mean, of course, some people are obviously poorer than others in different situations. And there's very specific situations to some people's depression, but on the whole, it seems there's a huge amount. You know.
Yes, and I believe diet is a massive part of that too. You know, we do live in Australia, but we've got a lot of these other options, like these fast food options and all this food that's not really food, all this processed crap,
Sugar,
We're not so much growing our own food and having this fresh produce and unprocessed stuff, I think, because a healthy mind is definitely linked to a healthy gut as well. I think that's got a massive part to play in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and of course, another one in Australia, massive drinking. Alcohol is so abundant here.
Yes.
And what did we?
And that's been a struggle.
In the lockdowns. We're allowed to go to bottle shops. Go as much.
Well,
as
that's right. Some bottle shops were at home. My home bottle shop in Kangaroo Island, when we had the first lockdown, they were home delivering within a certain radius. So that was a thing for the first couple of few weeks. Yeah, so it was happening here and there in places. So it's. It is.
Accessibility to alcohol, and it's fairly cheap here, and all of that probably has a lot to do with, depression. I'd say.
100%. Like I've I have struggled with addiction, alcohol, drugs, and stuff throughout my life, and alcohol is probably still my main one that I do struggle with, and I think it's that thing it is because it's so readily available, it's so socially acceptable. I mean, you stop drinking in Australia, you tell your mates, they're like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Are you sick? Not like, oh, good on you, way to go, live clean. It's more like they're worried because they think you're sick because you're not drinking. And that, that's, it doesn't make it easy,
But I mean, I do wonder if there's in countries like India or China or Japan's different, I know, but whether they have the amount of depression. Vast countries with those sort of populations, whether they do suffer with that, and is it a Western?
I don't know. It does definitely seem to be more of a sort of a Western, modern life sort of ailment, really. I think the people that are living more simply.
Yes.
Yeah, the people that live more simply that aren't in competition with each other to get the flashiest car or the flashiest house or the newest Nike shoes or whatever.
Yeah. That's actually true because it starts in school. I've got 2 kids in the early 20s now, but they I remember when they were in primary school, everybody's having these shoes. Everybody's having these whatevers. Yeah. It was more shoes. Yeah, thank goodness it was just shoes. But and then they brought the technology in, and that I was really anti having technology then, but you had to bring in it, and I suppose it's kind of builds that thing of you're not keeping up with everyone else, you're not the same as everyone else. Keep everyone the same. which is if you're not the same, if you think a bit differently, or if you actually have you think outside the box, or you're just a naturally black sheep or whatever, you're immediately kind of outside.
Yeah.
It does.
You are. Yeah. Well, the schoolyard, I found the schoolyard to be an evil place. Myself first, was always a new kid at school. Like I went to something like 8 schools before I was in the 6th grade. I started primary school in the UK. Did a 2 or 3 schools over there. And
right.
But we were never.
Schools too. I went to about 13.
Yeah.
In different countries.
We were always the op shop kid. With the second-hand clothes and stuff like that. So that always, I didn't have the Reeboks or the pumps. I had the Kmart, So schoolyard for me was horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's I can't remember school, but I mean, not. I don't remember the same. I think it's. I do remember school. School is definitely a pressure cooker for kids who are a little bit different, 100%. And so we're answering the question, basically. It starts there, and it starts with all that competition. But going back to what you're doing, so you've been on the road for over a year, and that's just incredible. And so what are you doing when you go from town to town? Or place to place? Well,
I generally, I do try and line up a few things if I can. Like, I think I've lost you. You're back. So I've done a few talks at high schools over east and in South Australia. One talk at a primary school as well. That was a school where one of my sons went to school. But and I've been to the odd sporting club. Had a few chats here and there. But generally, when I ride into town, to say it might be lunchtime or whatever, and there'll be a few people out the front of the beer garden or the pub or whatever. I'll roll in and. It's not your normal looking bike, and I've got this sort of replica German helmet on. So people look at me and they're like, "What's this guy up to?" And that just naturally opens a gate for a conversation. They say, "Oh, what are you up to? Where'd you come from on that?" And I start telling them, and that just starts these conversations. And one thing I've found, I must admit, is cruising around. People, when you mention mental health and you're an absolute stranger, people seem to open up a lot more. I've heard some. Man, I've heard some stories. I've heard some really sad stories, but I've also heard a lot of beautiful stories. People communities coming together, and it's amazing how from a tragedy, how some beautiful things can actually be born.
Oh, I know. I know exactly what you're talking about, because I see people are coming like out of the woodwork a bit, and also just. I think it's, like I said, it's so important to hear, and that's what you're doing, and give people the opportunity to speak.
Yes.
So are you recording anything
with
people? Are you recording anything with people, or are you just telling them your story?
Not so much. I have had the odd chat with people and done like a live video sort of thing. But a lot of the time, I don't really get that opportunity to. It's sort of just a random conversation. It might only, some people have just been that overwhelmed. I had a couple of people. One lady, for instance, in South Australia. I think it was Victoria. I just stopped in a town, and I was outside the post office, and this lady had just going to get her mail, and she read the back of my bus, which says Cycling Australia, raising awareness for suicide and mental health. And she came up to me. She was already in tears. It turned out she'd lost her son at the age of 14, I think he was, took his own life. And it happened to be that day was his birthday. And she was just in town to get her mail, and she saw me, and she just came and gave me a big hug and cried. Wow. And told me a brief story, and she had to go. She was just overcome. But for her in that moment when she was just overcome like that, to come and thank me and for what I'm doing, that, man, you can't get much better motivation than that. You know what I mean? Excuse me. It gets me going.
Of course, So that's
that sort of thing that keeps me going.
Yeah, and what you're doing is you're just starting a conversation. That's what you're doing, really. You're
Yeah.
allowing people to talk. You're allowing people to actually recognize the pain that even one life lost can cause.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm maybe going to hopefully, but I'm not going to push it at all, have a woman come on who I met recently through my friend, who is a single mum.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And her
I lost you a little.
Oh, sorry. You hear me now? Can you hear me? Well, you've frozen. Yeah.
Just glitching a little bit.
Oh, that's all right. So, yeah, I'm hoping to have the woman come on who I met recently through a friend who is a single mum to a 16-year-old, I think she was, who took her own life. So she only had that.
Yeah, right.
Daughter. She only had her. I mean,
wow.
This,
Yep.
I won't pressure her at all, but I did meet her, and it's just like you're just in the presence. You want to touch this, hug this person, but they're just going to burst with tears.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal, and the reason I don't know any reasons behind it, but people should be obviously aware that people struggle, but nobody should want to leave.
No, it's
this euthanasia is a different thing. It's not suicide, but
Yeah. That's it's.
I think I talked about this yesterday. I met this woman the other day, an older woman who was talking about how, I don't know if they're doing it here, but they have got euthanasia in Victoria, and it's pretty difficult to do that. You have to have some terminal illness, so it's not just like an easy thing. But in Canada, I think it is, they're bringing in, or maybe it's already there, this thing called MADS. And it's basically, if you're really struggling with depression, whatever, you're allowed to, you can guess the end of the sentence. You're allowed to say, look, I'm out.
Oh, wow.
No, don't give them help. Don't actually go, no. But so here's Doris again. Yeah, now Doris is someone who was on here yesterday, and I believe has been, made in Canada. Yeah, I'm not sure what that stands for, if anyone can help me out there. But I think Doris said yesterday, you either struggle yourself or you've been touched by it. And the reason you're doing what you're doing, the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because specifically, I have to say, Australia, there is, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe it's the rising. The numbers are actually going up.
Yeah, I think so too. I honestly, I'm not a fan. I don't like statistics. Statistics are scary. But being out there and actually talking to people, I've been in almost every state now, and I think the statistics are actually higher than what are written on paper. To be honest, sad but true.
Yes.
It's a scary realization, to be honest.
For the homeless and anyone apparently that would like to go. I mean,
yeah, wow, that sounds more like population control than help.
Medical assistance in dying. Wow. Yeah, population control, for sure. We don't want the riffraff. We don't want people who are struggling. We want robots. We want you all to comply and do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this,
that's
I have to have full spinal surgery. I'm reading on my own. I suffer from depression, but have no one that understands. I don't understand myself. It's so hard to talk to anyone when you don't understand it yourself. They say walk a mile in another's shoes, and you understand. In my case, who is that?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Whereabouts are you? Who is she? Okay, was it Kelly? Where are you? Because you shouldn't be on your own. You should, that's what I was talking about. We need people to talk to. Even join this doing it for Digger Facebook page, because do you find that people come to that page who are in the same sort of situation, who have either lost someone or they're struggling, or it's just a community to be able to talk? Your page? Did you hear
I'm
me?
sorry, I lost you there for
I'm just
a
saying,
fair bit.
I was just saying she can't get help. She's tried. Well, Kelly, could you? I don't know where you are. Oh, you're Central Coast. There's plenty of people on the Central Coast who would talk with you, who I can tell you right on this page, who I've got to know through the last 5 or 6 years. Send me a message, just because then I can maybe help you go in touch with someone. I'm just talking to this woman here, because nobody should be left to struggle by themselves. And I was saying that
No, definitely not.
Your page, do you find it's becoming a kind of a community for people to connect with other people?
Oh yeah, it has started to be a bit like that. Yeah, and there's it's just a safe space for people to talk about stuff. And if they're not comfortable talking in open forum, they're up to chat to people.
That's what I think.
I mean, none of us are trained in any way.
Yeah, we're trained in life, aren't we? That's the biggest training.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah. That's just life experiences, and when you've lived a bit of life, you do sort of, I suppose you do get a bit of training, don't you? Especially if you've fallen a few times and you've been able to get back up. But yeah, definitely having that support around you is key for sure.
I'm gonna. Yeah,
I would have thought the hospital, the hospital that's doing that sort of surgery. They've obviously got to realise that people are going to struggle. It's a whole change of life. When I got injured, I've got synthetic disc in my neck, and I was a career shearer for over 25 years.
And so I'm assuming you've had a lot of surgeries. Yeah.
When that was taken away from me, it was devastating. It was my passion. So I fully understand where. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it's quite windy here. I think that's playing a bit of a factor in this.
Yeah. Oh, because you've got a cyclone on the way, haven't you?
Yeah. There's that cyclone Narelle. It's this is the third state she's visited now, and it just crossed the coast further north, and it's really intensified into a cyclone again. So yeah, it's all happening.
Wow. Yeah. So that's another reason why you're. So, just going back. So people need go to the page doing it for Dipper, because like Lenny said, you're never alone. There's always people to talk to. I mean, there's a lot of people, as we talked about, who won't talk. They don't want to know. They don't want to get involved. But there's plenty of people who do or will. And sometimes it's good to talk to people who actually experienced similar things. So you don't feel so alone. Right. You don't feel so like an alien.
Yes, 100%.
Just put your mum's comment up. So Lenny himself lost his job to physical injury and extreme pain. He had several surgeries, and he could help you with knowing you are not alone, Kelly. There we go. Yeah. I'm sure she can get in touch with you. I'm not offloading, of course, but you have to understand that. And also surgery, I think when you have surgery, just naturally when you have the antiseptic, what do you call it? Anesthetic. It can have a depressive thing afterwards, I believe, has an effect on your body. So you actually go into a bit of a depression.
Yeah, I I don't know how I went there. I was quite medicated when I came out as well. You know, I was on the endones and the morphine and that too. So that sort of, yeah, I'm not a big fan of those sort of things. But yeah,
You know, Nadine, you're an amazing man, Lenny. What you're doing.
yeah, Nolene, she's a friend of mine. I used to work with her brother, who's unfortunately passed away now. But yeah, she's a lovely lady. Yeah.
Yeah, so she
No,
gets
some-
mental health, but I just want to carry
Yeah.
on. So
see,
you're
the mental-
I'm just saying when you're heading, are you heading Nullarbor way or into
I've
Perth?
already been across the number. 1 second, Lucky.
And the other way.
Come here. Sorry. He's on. My dog's on heat and she's got a visitor. Oh, it's all right. He's been fixed. All good. We're friends. Yeah, so I've already done what I started in Bunbury, Western Australia, and I originally headed east. So I've already been across the Nullarbor, and I've done a lap of Tasmania. Thanks, mate.
Wow.
And I've been up the east coast. I got to almost Rockhampton in Queensland.
In
And the wet
Queensland,
season
right?
started coming in, and it got so it got a bit hectic there. And if you've been following the weather lately, it's pretty wild up north. It has been the last couple of months. So yeah, I actually packed up and I drove back to Bunbury, and I'm currently going the opposite direction now.
Okay.
So
Going
yeah,
back.
I'm heading back
Into
around,
Cochrane.
heading north of WA, around the Northern Territory, back to Queensland. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's
well,
about another 7,500 kilometres.
I'll keep in
Yeah.
touch because
Yep.
I've got a friend who works up in Alice Springs. Oh, is that inland?
Okay.
though? Would you be going in there?
Yeah, that's inland. I'm going around the outside there. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I wasn't planning on going through Alice, but
I mean, the Indigenous suicide is a whole different matter. I don't know if you
yes,
get to
yes.
go near that, but just one more comment from Kelly. I'm on a lot of meds. They're worried about how they will cover my pain. I also take cannabis or you name it on my own advocate for myself, but not getting anywhere. Anyway, won't talk about it anymore. It's upsetting me. Oh, no, don't. I'm sorry that you're getting
I'm always
upset.
here anyway,
Yeah.
anytime.
I'm going to contact you afterwards, Kelly, if you'll let me. And also, Denise comes on here. Now, Denise really believes in and is an advocate herself for hemp flower oil that she uses and she sells. She has a shop. She hasn't been doing, or I'm not sure how long she's been doing it for, but it's very, very good for moods and depression and things like that. It can help. So it's not in the cannabis. It's the hemp flower part of it. So I just want to say that. But please don't give in, Kelly. My goodness.
Yeah. No.
5 years. She'll got to come back on, Denise. This is Denise with the hemp flower. So yeah, so you're heading back that way, and you're going to cover. And what are you going to do when you get? You've been through Melbourne?
I have done Melbourne. Yeah, I've done Melbourne and Sydney. So because I was originally going to finish back in Bunbury, it's I've decided. Because I'll get back to near Rockhampton, a place called Villaweela. That's the actual end point for the full lap. But I've decided to do an extra 2,000 kilometres and finish in Adelaide, where and that's where the Breakthrough Mental Health Research Foundation are based. That's who I'm raising the money for. So I figured that'd probably be a better place to finish. So yeah, I will go. I will get off inland and go through Broken Hill and down through that way. So yeah, because there's a lot of members.
What's that? Sorry.
I've got a lot of members in my group that are in Broken Hill as well. So there's a few people want me to come there. So yeah, I will cut down through there. It's a bit of a country, but yeah.
To me, I thought Broken Hill was in New South Wales. All right, so it's not.
It is New South Wales, but yeah. So I'll head from Queensland through to Broken Hill down through to Adelaide.
Right. Well, apart from I'm assuming everything is on your page. about how people can get in touch and how people can help you, and the way people can look out for where you are. But is there something you need specifically at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm actually without a driver at the moment, so I've got an old 12-seater school bus that sits in front of me to help keep me safe on the roads. And my last driver, unfortunately, he's a bit crook and he had to go home early. So I'm up here without a driver at the minute. But yeah, fingers crossed I'll find someone. It has been a bit of a struggle all the way around.
Somebody who can go all the way around, did you say, or someone who's local?
Oh, well, if someone wants to go all the way, that's awesome. But yeah, even anyone locally, that could do a few days, even that's always a help. I've had a lot of people just do 2 or 3 days, even 1 day. Yeah, I've had probably. How
do they get back to where they come from?
We usually work it out somewhere. If it's not very far, I'll just double back and drive them back, or
Oh, they're always trains.
If they bring it, I can get them back to their car. Or
so that would be,
I know a lot of people.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll come through to Townsville, definitely.
Oh,
that's your friend Denise. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was just
come to see her in Townsville, and she'll give you some. She'll show you the hemp.
Yeah.
What I'll do is, I'm on your doing it for Dipper page, but I'll keep a lookout because, every now and again it would be good to have another update from you where you are and what you're experiencing.
Sure.
If you don't mind, in connection with what I'm doing as well, because we don't want to just forget about it.
I'm all about having conversations.
Yeah, that's great. So, what was I going to say? So we'll do that, and if people want to get in touch with you, go to your Facebook page, and help you wherever. Oh, so with the driver, that's it. Do you want them to go contact you through your Facebook page if they think they can help you?
Yeah, just send me a direct message or whatever. Yeah, that works.
Or you can an email as well if you want, but send me a message. Hare Smith, hello. But yeah, I really wish, okay. I really wish you well, and what you're doing is amazing, and it's amazing. It's sometimes just your life takes its own course, I guess, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, mine definitely has. Yeah. Mine's I didn't really see this coming on the horizon. I've been a career shearer for over 25 years, and I never thought I'd be doing this, that's for sure.
And the farmers, and I haven't actually even been in touch with shearers yet, but farmers, there's a huge suicide rate. And that's also why I want to make this film, because I took this play to a farming community up in Cororook in December.
I
got a grant from the foundation, the National Foundation for Farmers Health. And they just couldn't. I couldn't get many to come to the piece because they were out baling hay because of the weather.
Right.
So it's always dependent. But it's so sad that farmers get to the point. Of everyone, obviously, but something like you were doing there, I would imagine, such a repetitive job, and also, I don't know how you feel when you're shearing a sheep, but I would be going, "Are you okay? Am I hurting you?" So it's almost like a vet sort of situation where they. Do you think there's a lot of bad mental health with shearers?
Well, yeah, there is a bit, and it's another industry, I suppose, similar to the mining industry, where families are displaced. There's people working away for long periods of time. It puts a lot of strain on relationships and families. So there's a bit of a high element of broken families there, which that affects people's mental health. And I have quite a few shearers that have taken their own lives, and it's bloody tragic,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
that whole fly in, fly out situation, and when you're working, you're just isolated, working, and no sort of release from it.
Yeah, that's right. It is, yes, and and unfortunately, the shearing industry is one of those industries that it's got a high a high incidence of alcohol and drug abuse as well
Yep.
that goes with
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
So
Well,
there's that factor as well. Work
Yeah.
hard, play hard, sort of thing. Because it takes a toll on your body. You know, I mean, obviously, I'm living proof of that. I can't shear sheep anymore. My body's it's just racked with pain. You know, but
Wow, you're only in your 40s.
it's and so
Yeah.
we tend to. Well, I did a lot. I used drugs and alcohol to numb the pain. You know.
Yeah. Wow. Look, I'm going to let
among
you go.
other things, pain my body.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll finish this now because I think we're fantastic what we've all talked about. And so go to that page, Doing It for Dipper. Just going to put it on again. If you want to help in any way, and if you're a driver or someone who thinks, you know what? So what does a driver get? Is it obviously not payment? It's just they're doing it like you, and they'd be
it is a volunteer thing, and it's a little old school bus that I've got decked out for camping. We've got a fridge, we've got the solar, all decked out for camping. But generally, we stay at caravan parks unless we're a bit remote. So I've got the bus, and I've got a camp. Yeah. As long as we get along, no one will have to dig a hole. It'll be fine.
No farting in the camper van.
It's a bus to sleep in and a camper van. So we're not bunked in the same thing together. We get a bit of space. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, it's great. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming and talking this morning. I know it's really early there, but I hope you get a driver. I hope you can
so much for the opportunity.
Beat that bloody cyclone, or if it goes another way or something.
I'm just going to wait it out. I'm going to wait it out here for the weekend. Yeah. See what happens after that.
So good. Thanks so much. And I'm going to end with another thing from Maroon. So just to remind people what I'm doing as well. But Doing It for Dipper, go to his page, and thanks so much, Lenny. I'll be in touch. Okay.
Thank you so much for your time, Brianna. That's amazing. You're a legend.